We need to talk.
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 February 1st.
Yes, sir.
Black History Month.
First day.
This comes out on Wednesday for you guys, but it is Monday we're recording. First day of February 2021. What are your thoughts on Black History Month? How about we just start there? Let's start real easy, smooth.
I don't even know if it's gonna be smooth. I actually woke up today thinking to myself, remember last year when all those companies during the summer put out all these statements about Black people?
We hear you, we see you.
We hear you, we see you. I'm curious to see if any of those same companies are going to do anything for Black History Month. I know it's super performative for a lot of these companies because they don't really say anything at other times of the year. But in general, I'm happy there's a Black History Month, but it's always bittersweet for me because I know that people don't really give a fuck.
It's a play.
Yeah, people don't really give a fuck. Let's be honest. You know, let's be very honest about that. I don't think a lot of people actually care because it doesn't really affect them in any way, you know, unless you have Black friends. If you're not Black and you don't have Black friends, how much do you really care about Black History Month? Let's be honest.
You don't even know it's a thing. You heard of it. You've heard of it. It becomes a thing. I heard about this thing.
And as a Black person, I'm aware of that.
Right.
Like I'm aware of the fact that for a lot of people, this is just another month for them, you know? And in a weird way, it was created to bring awareness to things that have happened. But what it's also done has made a lot of us go, oh, this is just a reminder that you guys don't really give a fuck.
Even more.
Yeah. You know, because it's weird. Imagine saying, all right, for this week,
you have to.
I'm gonna acknowledge that you wear black pants.
Only today.
But once this week's done,
I don't care what pants you're wearing.
I don't care what pants you're wearing. I don't care what you do. That's kind of what it's like.
But all this week I would be like, yo, nice Adidas pants.
Nice pants, bro. Nice.
Yeah.
But after that, nah, you're done.
So I have the situation that I'm currently in right now.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you saw the video I just posted for Black History Month.
I did.
So I was torn. I'm still torn.
Okay. Explain.
And it's funny because, you know, since our podcast is it's public but private in the sense where like unless you come click on it, you're not going to listen to it.
Yeah.
Hear what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We only post the snippets of the stuff we want to share anyways. You have to go deep in our podcast to actually hear the stuff we talk about for real. Yeah. So for people who are in this podcast right now listening, I was reached out to by Sportsnet, a contact at Sportsnet. And they've come across my work and I'm known to be a very vocal person when it comes to social issues, being Black, my experience, so on and so forth. So they saw some stuff I've done and they're like, we want to select you as a creator to come up with a piece on your own for Black History Month, and we will feature you through Sportsnet socials. I said, okay. They gave me no structure and how it's supposed to be, like something that speaks to you, whatever you feel like doing. They have other creators who are doing written pieces. Some people are doing a photo series. Some people are doing a sketch, whatever. Like whatever you feel like speaks to your creativity and your honest voice.
And it's supposed to be around your experience as a Black,
whatever my experience or my perspective on anything, but
okay,
it has to relate to sport in some way.
Okay,
that was a stipulation.
Okay,
and I was like, I mean, I'm an athlete, so it's easy to kind of sing those two things together. Being a Black athlete at that,
yeah. So
I came up with this concept. Did you watch the video? Did you see it? Yeah, or not?
I did. I was watching halfway before you to come out. Yeah.
So the video's on my page now, guys. Check it out if you want to. It's called Going Down in History. I came up with the concept. I came up with the video.
Okay.
I came up with the idea, the fucking shot it myself, edited it myself. I did the whole thing myself.
Whole thing.
Now, when I finished the piece, I was really happy with it. I am really happy with it. And essentially, the video discusses briefly my perspective being a Black athlete and my opinion on essentially, I don't believe the professional league should have came back, especially during this time.
Yeah.
Like even the fact that when NBA came back, everyone was wearing jerseys with like different sayings on them.
Yeah.
And then that's just gone. When did it stop? When did it stop? When did they stop wearing I Can't Breathe, Black Lives Matter? When did they stop wearing that?
As soon as the new season started.
Why?
I don't know why. I can tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they did it. It was performative, as you said.
Yeah.
And it just stopped. Why did it stop? Because they were wearing certain things that mattered to them, plus their name was on the jersey. So it wasn't like it was like only that and no names. They had it so that their phrase that they believed in was there, along with their last name.
Yeah.
And then it just stopped. I don't know if it stopped because the league said that's enough. We've done it enough. It's good enough. I don't know if they forced them to stop wearing. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is that they're wearing jerseys with things representing Black lives and supporting of it.
Yeah.
And then it just stopped. And then we're back to the regular season like nothing happened. Colin Kaepernick, blackballed for his reason.
Yeah,
still doesn't have a job. Yeah. But since then, many other players have kneeled down. Many other players have spoken up. Same issues that he's talking about, but they're still in the league. So it's okay now that he's been made an example of.
Yeah, he was a sacrifice.
But now they're fine with him doing it. Still doesn't give the guy a job. Kyrie Irving getting ridiculed, slandered for not playing games. Oh, everyone else is playing. What's wrong with Kyrie? Kyrie comes back, obviously, I'm assuming due to some type of pressures. So eventually, you can only not play for so long until people are like, come on, Kyrie.
Yeah, come on, you got to play now.
You just got James Harden, like, come on. Like, you know what I mean? So it's obviously pressure like that. Do you think Kyrie's stresses went away? No, of course not. But he's like, how long can I not play for before there's news articles, everything about my name all day long, every day?
Yeah.
So eventually he got coerced, I will say, into playing again. Whether it's his choice fully or not, whatever, he's playing again.
Yeah.
So I made this piece basically regarding highlighting those two players specifically, Kaepernick and Kyrie, because those are the two notable people. Other people have spoken out, but those are two notable people that really made like a stance. Like, fuck the NBA, fuck NFL. This is how I feel. I don't care. It's fine me, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? They really took stances. I came with this whole concept, this whole idea for the video. Now, no knock to Sportsnet whatsoever. They have created this series of creators that will be doing different videos, like I said. And before the video begins, there's a Sportsnet logo reel that at the start. You see at the beginning of the video,
yeah,
like a Sportsnet watermark, let's say, right? That plays before the video. And I basically said or asked, I was like, the more I was sitting on it, I'm just like, I would make this video whether you reached out to me or not, right? It may have been different, but I would have done something regardless. Yeah. And my thing was like, okay, I'm like, can I post this video without your logo at the beginning? And then once you guys release it, you guys can put your logo on it, whatever, and then share it through your socials as a Sportsnet piece, a Sportsnet featured piece. But through my page, you guys didn't really do anything, like, at all. So I'm essentially putting your logo on my page because you requested that I do something.
Are they paying you for this or no?
They are paying me for this. Okay. And I also suggested, I'm like, I don't mind forfeiting the money if there's an issue with me posting on my own page without saying Sportsnet. Like, I have no, like, I genuinely would have done this for free. So I don't mind forfeiting the money and just taking this piece as my own piece and posting on my own page. Because I don't actually need Sportsnet for my stuff to be out. Yeah. Right? This is something I was requested as a feature because they want to do something cool. But I'm like, the more I was thinking, I'm just like, I feel like just releasing it myself and not, like, I actually will get the money back. I don't care. I haven't got paid yet, but I was like, I'll forfeit even the fact of getting paid and just kind of, and then the compromise was, well, no, it's fine. Like, you can post it, but if you want to post on your socials, I think Sportsnet would still like if you used their watermark. And I was like, but if I'm posting it on my own page without Sportsnet releasing it yet, then your logo being there doesn't actually need to be there on my page. You know what I'm saying? Because essentially what would happen is if this video goes viral, your logo will be seen first and then my piece, which will look like either you sponsored it or you know how optics look, whatever, right? And I was torn with that. I'm just like, well, I didn't really make it for you. I made it to be featured with you, but I made it for myself. So there's this seesaw I'm on where I'm like, are they using me? Or like, is it a move? Like, because then I asked, I'm like, you know what? Actually, no, I didn't ask. I said, I'm like, you know what? Since this is something you guys want to feature, and it's something that, you know, I've been selected as a creator amongst other people, I was like, you know what? I'll use your watermark and I'll add context to the video. Which in my caption I was saying, I'm like, I'm a former athlete. That's why I align with Sportsnet and they're sports, but this is my voice coming from me, authentically created by myself. That way I'm like, there's context to why I'm talking about sports. Sportsnet, you know, requested I do it, but this video was created by myself. Then I receive another email saying, wait, don't post it yet. Post it next week when we post it so we can both post it together. I ignored the email, by the way.
Oh yeah, you already posted.
I've already posted it. And I already said I was going to post it before that email came. But even that email, it's like, if this is my voice, my piece of work that I created through my own efforts and my own time. Yeah. Why are we posting this together?
I feel like, so I see where you're coming from and I see where they're coming from. I think there's a lot of business happening here. So, you know, like you asked me, are they using you? I mean, yeah, like they wouldn't have asked you to do this if it wasn't February.
Exactly.
Right. So, of course, when people reach out to Black creators in the month of February, it's because they intend to use them for whatever messaging they're trying to put out. Right. So, yeah, you're being used. And I don't mean that to come across in like a negative way.
No.
It just is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
It is what it is. Right. I can see why the whole dialogue was a little like strange in terms of, well, can we just compromise in terms of like when I'm posting it or the caption that I say? I think the reason that they wanted you to post it the same time as them next week is because in their head, they're thinking they can capitalize off of the traction, you know, because when you post it, you're more likely to get more interactions on your posts and more engagement on your post at the same time, which would then mean, oh, maybe people are going to go to our page now afterwards.
Right.
Which is funny because like Sportsnet has a big account. So you think that the engagement would be high. I just don't know what their engagement, I'm willing to bet their engagement probably goes down during Black History Month.
Interesting point.
Yeah, right. So that's probably the reason why they're looking to have the creators post the same time that they post. So it's like a trade system. It's like they look at your account, they see you posted and tagged us, then we'll go over to our account, they'll like it there too.
But my thing, trust me, I get all that too. But my point is like, I really want to challenge people. Okay. To be authentic in what they're saying and what they're trying to represent. Because if you're trying to represent, and not just this company, but any company, if you want people to speak freely and openly and honestly to themselves, the timing and the traction and the reach and all that stuff doesn't fucking matter. Like this post is not a play to see how many views you can get. This is to spread a message that is a true message about what we deal with. This is not about numbers. Okay. At some point.
Okay. Right. The thing is, like, I agree with you. but it's hard for me to believe that unless anyone in the room making the decisions behind this campaign are black, that's not what they're thinking.
They have a black individual leading this particular situation.
Okay, well, maybe this person still has like, you know, someone higher up to answer to. That's like, this campaign has to reach X amount, blah 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 blah. Like they've attached metrics to it. Like the moment you create, this is the problem with these Black History Month campaigns, right? The problem is at the end of the day, there's still campaigns, and like money's gonna go behind them, and there's results that you need to get. But when you decide to attach certain types of metrics and results to social issues,
right,
then the problem becomes,
it's a play.
Do you actually care about the social issue, or is it more so about the business side of it? I understand business is always at play, but it's like at a certain point, like you said, there's got to be like a deeper line of thinking going on here. You know, it's fucks. Like I'm not surprised that you're kind of like seeing this, and I know you're not either. It's just that like,
and I think because I'm also in the position where, like I said, I genuinely said, like, I don't mind forfeiting this and just keeping my peace.
Yeah.
Like most people, a lot of people will not turn down money.
Especially now.
Especially now.
Yeah.
But that's the difference. Like I genuinely believe in my work and the message that I want to be authentic so much that I'm like, if by me sharing this video on my own page and not, you know, going through Sportsnet anymore means I lose this money, so be it. Like, I need you guys to know I'm not doing this for money. There's no, you cannot strong arm me to be like, oh, but we're like, no, bro, I would do this for free. So you want to just say, oh, we can't pay anymore? Cool. It's not like you came to my place, set up a camera crew and like, I spoke and then you own the work.
Yeah, like you did the production. Yeah, I did it all. So
I came up with it all.
I'm gonna post it when I want. You know what I mean?
Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, there's that. But it's just an example I want to share with you guys. Like, you know, I'm sure Zamora goes to some issues with like just finding your moral compass. I'm like, where it's like,
dog, I talked about it so many times, and like that's why I said at the very beginning of this, you know, I always kind of knew that a lot of these companies don't really give a fuck. It's just kind of a play for them during this time of the year. And maybe I'm being harsh. I know there's a lot that do actually care. It's their execution that's not well thought out, you know. And I talked about the issue I had with Nike Toronto, where it's just like they think you need product to do anything around Black History Month. It makes no sense to me. You really don't. And that like always sticks with me because that's such a large company. I understand it's very different to the rest of the world in terms of their offices, but I just don't understand how you live I don't understand how you can live in a diverse city like Toronto and still fumble the bag so easily when it comes to campaigns like this. You know what I mean? But then I look at who's making the decisions and I'm like,
it's not us. That's
probably why. You know what I mean? And it says a lot for other campaigns too. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm curious to see, check back at the end of the month and be like, okay, which companies actually did something? You know, not put out a little post about Muhammad Ali or some shit. You know what I mean? Like what companies actually did something. So we'll see.
Anyways, in a lighter note, Black History Month, like we said, it's better than not having one.
Yeah.
But we just hope people truly make an effort to acknowledge these same issues for the rest of the 11 months in the year.
Very true.
Right? Like this is like, yes, it's a month that we get highlighted, let's say.
Yeah.
Highlighted and appreciated, sure. But there's 11 other months that shit's going wrong.
Yeah.
And shit still goes wrong in this month, by the way. Like this month doesn't give us a fucking Mario Kart star.
Yeah.
and we're just untouchable.
Yeah, I can't move. I can't.
We still,
I'll still get fucked up. Like,
oh, it's February, guys. Like,
Yeah.
let them go.
imagine, like, if that's how it actually
If
works.
that would
maybe,
be,
maybe I'd be like, oh, okay, cool.
that'd be pretty sick.
I'd be like, I'll take this month.
That'd be pretty. Imagine you're speeding, and an officer pulls you over, and he's like, "Oh, it's February."
yeah,
Just
he pulls up to the window.
Just slow down, man. Just slow down.
Oh, okay, yeah. Slow down.
You can go. Doesn't matter what speed. 140. He looks at you. Was like, honestly, normally I'd have to impound your car, but come on,
Yeah,
slow down, bro. It's February. I know. So can't do anything to you today.
yeah.
But hey,
After
and you
this-
just go. All right. We go into a store and there's like, you know what, $50 off your groceries.
All right, thank you.
For all February.
Well, thank you.
Haircut free.
That'd be funny. Imagine be getting a haircut every 2 days.
Every day.
Every 2 days, I get a haircut.
Crisp all
Very
month.
crisp. So, switching gears,
Yeah.
I was on a podcast yesterday called "Who Would You Rather." So,
That's what it's called?
yeah, who would you rather? So, long story short, a friend of mine, her name's Erica. I used to work with her at the PR company. She DMs me like 2 weeks ago, and she's like, "Hey, my friends have this podcast called Who Would You Rather, and I think you'd be like really good on it." And I was like, "What do you mean?"
What's the premise of it?
So the premise is this: it's a dating show. It's a dating game, but it's blind dating, and it's myself and two other guys, and then there's a girl, right? And the girl has to determine who she wants to pick.
Is she there?
So this is the thing. It's on a Zoom. It's recorded like how we record it, but it's also on Zoom.
Okay.
The thing is, the only people we can see on the Zoom are the hosts, Mila, Nick, and Indra, right? We can see those three. The rest of us, you can't see what we look like. We have to
just logo or whatever?
we changed it. We had to change our names to contestant 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And then we knew her name.
But she's in there too, but no picture.
She's in there, but no, you couldn't see her.
Okay.
Right? And I have friends who are just like, yo, like, how do you get yourself into this shit? Like, why did you do this? And I'm like, 'cause I think it'd be fun. Like, I thought it'd be fun to do. And, you know, it was actually really fucking, like, I got picked. First off, so that was like a massive boost to my confidence.
She just hears you talking and stuff?
So she hears me talking, but then there's like questions that they ask you, and some of them are like real funny. Some of them are like,
so she's listening to see how you guys answer, kind of thing.
Exactly. Okay. And then they basically, after like a series of questions, after round 1, the girl then has to decide who she's not interested in.
1 or 2 of them? 1. So there's still 2 of you guys left.
Still 2 of us left. And then there's another round where it's down to us 2.
Sure.
And then she picks who wins, right? And then it was just really interesting because the hosts themselves do a ton of research on all the guests that they bring on. Okay. Like, they're very deliberate with who gets picked. Sure. So then they'll, you know, they have a whole bio on you and all this type of shit. But like a game show where you have lifelines and stuff like that, they have 2 specific ones. They call them dating. You got 2 dating apps you can use. One of them was this astrology one, where they have this. A friend of the show is into astrology, and she basically looks at each contestant's like astrology chart and says why they may or may not be compatible with this girl. Okay, right. And then the other lifeline is one of the hosts, Nick, right? He's like, as a gay man, it's my due diligence to find dirt on people. Right? Okay. So he'll like try and find dirt about each person.
Like on your Instagram account or something?
Instagram, like wherever. Okay. You know, I don't know. So this was news to me. So when I heard it, I was like, oh fuck. Like, I don't know what they found. Okay. So, you know, he was just like, for his lifeline, he said, you know, contestant number 2, which is me. He's like, contestant number 2, he works in the fitness industry, and I don't know if you've ever been with a dude who like is fit, but it might make you feel like shit about yourself. You know, if you want to eat Domino's late at night, that's the last guy to do it with. But I'm like, little does he know I eat Domino's like crazy. And then the astrology girl came in, and I'm not into astrology heavy. Mm-hmm. But she ends up coming on and basically it felt like she was trying to just to dirty slander me. She was basically saying
based
that,
on your Pisces sign kind of
yeah,
stuff?
she was basically saying that you and Zamora could not be any more opposite. Like, he's actually the worst match for you. And I'm sitting there like, holy. Like, I don't even know what this girl looks like yet, right? But I'm like, I want to win. I'm competitive. So I'm like, holy, this is crazy. Long story short, I end up winning, right? And then they said usually what they do is you got to have a Zoom date with this girl now.
Currently? Or another, like, make a date later?
So it's either like they like to do it the same night that you did the podcast or like the next day. So it's like, I can either do it today, which was Sunday, or I can do it tomorrow, which would have been today.
Yeah.
And they were like, let's just do today then. So I did it on Sunday night.
Yeah.
I ended up talking to this girl for like 2.5 hours.
By yourself on Zoom?
By ourselves. It's not recorded or anything like that. She was cute. Like, it was really dope.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is actually fucking hilarious. Like, how
you got here?
How I got here. Like, how like people are maneuvering through COVID now and
find new ways.
Trying to find new ways. Like,
so do you like her?
I mean, I haven't even met her yet.
No, do you like what you know of her so far?
Yeah. She seems real cool.
Are you attracted to her?
She's very good looking.
Are you attracted to her?
Yeah.
Are you attracted to her?
Yeah.
We discussed the difference between saying someone's good looking and I am attracted to her.
Like I genuinely am attracted to her. But once again, it's one like we haven't met. It could be anything. It's different. Like, I've met people online and I met them in person and you're like vibe with them online and it's like, yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
Right. So
but so far so good.
Objectively speaking, yeah, it's so cool. So far so good. Great conversation.
And do you hear anything about her during the game, or is it just you guys selling yourselves?
No. So during the game, when she was getting introduced, I knew they said that she was a actor, singer. She's been on like some shows and all this type of stuff. And I was like, huh, interesting. Then I heard her talk and I was like, oh, she got like a really nice voice, which makes sense.
Oh, she does speak?
Yeah, she'll speak periodically. It's not like she's just quiet the entire time. But yeah.
Did you know of her before this?
No, I didn't. We had no mutual friends, which is crazy.
Like, even after seeing her, you never seen her before?
After seeing her IG, we had no mutual friends.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was really good. It was actually funny.
I know you like that.
Huh?
I know you like that there's no mutuals.
I think most people, if they find someone with no mutuals,
I know you low key like there's no mutuals.
You low key like that.
I'm not.
It's not even low key. It's high key.
I'm not on the hot play right now.
No, but I'm just saying high key. Yeah. I know if I meet you and you have no mutuals with me, great.
Yeah.
If our circles aren't meshing,
you're a ghost in the wind.
There you go. So yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to them. Who would you rather? It was a dope podcast for sure.
Who would you rather?
Yeah, it was really cool.
It's a dope idea. It reminds me of like one of those what was that show where they couldn't see each other for like fucking
The Circle?
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah, where you're talking to the thing.
It's like a new age version of it.
And that's the thing too. Like we actually talked about that when we were talking on Zoom, because I was like, she mentioned The Circle and I was like, that felt like I watched that 2 years ago, but it was this last year at the beginning of quarantine, bro.
It's so many shows came out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the question.
That's a cool concept.
Question for this week. Question was, what is the most frustrating thing about being single? What is the most frustrating thing about being in a relationship? Okay, so we got a lot of responses, a lot of good ones today.
We did.
A lot of in-depth ones.
People went off. I didn't even go through all of them yet.
Okay, so I'll start. So we got one from Christina. She said, in quotation marks, "How are you single? I know what I need and would rather enjoy my own company than choose to be with the wrong person for me." Right? I got a lot of likes. Andrea, she said, on either end, the unsolicited... Whoa, I just had a stroke when I said that. Holy smokes. On either end, the unsolicited judgment of people questioning why you're still single or if you're in the right relationship. It's like the grass is always greener, but neighbors keep peeping your lawn instead of watering their own. I think that makes a lot of sense. People are always in other people's...
People are nosy.
People are very nosy about relationships. My girl, Hilda, back. Hilda, she said, people not understanding that being single can be an active choice that you're making so you can work on yourself. And then on the other hand, The assumption that you can't focus on your own growth while you're in a relationship. So I will say this, like, when you're in a relationship, you definitely can work on your own growth.
Of course.
But I think it's a lot harder.
To do it with somebody?
Yes.
I agree.
I think it's a lot harder. And we can go into that after you read these. There's only a few more. Mike Ashman, he said, there shouldn't be anything frustrating about being single or being in a relationship. Both should be beneficial to build your overall foundation and your fundamentals as a person. The issue is folks in our generation rather have the outside world opinions, IG, family, friends, etc., upon them cure the sense of security when they ain't even secure with their own energy. Balance, communication, and having synchronicities of one's energy between your partner and, more importantly, within yourself is a key to make any relationship flourish.
It's got to read the scripture.
Yeah.
I see you, Mike.
So I agree. I agree with a ton of that. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I would disagree with is I think our generation obviously suffers with social media. So that plays a big role in outside voices. But I think in previous generations, I think I won't go as far to say that family pressure or the outside voices of your family and friends was as large as social media. But I think in some cases, the family was a big deal.
Oh, definitely.
Like, I think it was massive, and it's not as big now, but I think it was huge back then.
I think we're pulled away from our family more so now than before.
I would agree with that.
I think less people, not nobody cares, but I think more people are doing things based on their own merit than like, let me check if my mom or dad is okay with it. Like, people are running around the city doing what the fuck they want.
I don't. I've never. They really are. I've never had a thought, and this, it speaks to
the upbringing as well.
But it speaks to me being like a black man and understanding where I stand in the dating space. But I've never really. I don't think I've ever really had a thought where I was like, I can't bring this girl home, like, to meet my parents. Like, not a girl that I was going to date.
Oh, someone you actually want.
Yes. Yeah. Y'all know what you mean?
Yeah.
I know what you think.
There's girls I met that I'm like, I cannot bring this girl home.
I know what you think I meant. Yeah. I'm talking about girls that girls you want, but you felt scared to do it, kind of thing. Yeah, I never had that thought where I was like, oh, I can't bring her because she's different or whatever. Like, I never really had that thought. But that goes back to upbringing and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Allison, she said the constant pressure from family on when you'll settle down and from friends saying maybe your standards are too high. There isn't a right time for being in a relationship, and most of the time it just happens. It took me a long time to enjoy my own company, especially because I'm an extreme extrovert. I love being around people and good energy. But quarantine times really got me to enjoy the things about being single and continue to grow as a person. I'm not in a relationship, but when I was the most frustrating thing would be reinforcing my partner that I was their girlfriend and not mother. Not here to clean up after you and babysit you. We are a team.
I hear a lot of women saying this mother role thing. Like, I keep hearing that coming up in different conversations with women. They're like, oh, I don't want to mother this guy. Like, I feel like there's a lot of guys that have either mother issues or just don't know better. Like, I hear a lot of women complaining about having to be a mother and for these guys.
Yeah.
Have you heard the same thing?
Yeah. And I mean, it goes back to that whole where I think a lot of women feel like they're mothering their partner is when it comes to dealing with their man's emotional intelligence and all that type of shit. Like, if they feel like they're having to like teach this guy so much things in terms of how to deal with his emotions, like, they're like, why am I doing this? Like, I shouldn't be teaching you this.
Like, how to communicate all
that type of stuff. Like, I feel like that's what they're saying is like, why do I feel like I'm having to teach you all this shit?
Yeah.
Right. That I understand. But then on the flip side, like, there are some women as well who straight up do motherly things. Like, they literally take care of their man 24/7.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what's interesting? Like, that, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to say that's uncomfortable for me, but those types of girls that display that behavior, towards me, like that have towards me, it's like hard for me to get used to.
Like when they're doing too much, or trying to do too much.
The reason I think so, right, is because, you know, yeah, I have a mother, but my mother was never like on top, like she was never like on top of me like that. Like, I'm gonna do everything, like I'm gonna do this for you, blah blah blah. Like,
so like it's almost like foreign.
Yeah,
like you're like, why are you doing?
She obviously raised me. She did a great job. I'm not saying that my mom was like whatever, but I'm just saying that it's not like the way some of these girls are like, oh, let me cook for this guy anytime he wants, like all this type of stuff.
It's like I never had that anyway.
That's not how I grew up. It's not like I could be like, Mom, go make me some food, and she just go do it. Like,
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? So when I meet a woman who's like that, it throws me off a little bit because I'm like,
you're like, I'm not even used to that.
I'm not used to it, but it also makes me feel like I'm taking advantage of you. You know what I mean? Like,
I do understand. I like not even my mom would do this.
Yeah, like I want to do shit for you as my partner, and I know you want to do shit for me, but I don't ever want to feel like I'm taking advantage of you. You know?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
So that's where it's a little strange for me. Annie, she said, personally, sometimes I want to date someone other than myself, LOL, and then other times I'm like, I should celebrate being single more. Because once I'm in a relationship, I feel like it's harder to balance having personal space and sharing yourself on your own terms. And he's like one of my tight friends. I agree with this so much because ever since I started living by myself, I feel like I knew so quickly. I was like, I'm not moving in with my next partner like right away.
Like you enjoy it.
But I think you need it because forget COVID, right? Like
need to live on your own?
Yeah.
Oh,
like forget COVID. Transport a year from now, 2 years from now, wherever, everything's back to normal. And I'm dating or I'm with someone, like whatever that looks like. I think unless it's clear we're either going to get married, something like that's going to happen, common law, we're going to get a place together. Unless those things are, I'm so sure about and she's so sure about, we're not living in the same space right away anyway. We're not, because I don't think right now it's beneficial to be on top of your partner all the time. I just don't think it is. I want to look forward to you coming over and spending time with you, and me going over to you
as an event.
And you know what? Look, I see all of this now, and that could very easily change
depending on the person.
Depending on the person I meet. Like, I'm speaking as who I am.
How you feel right now, right?
And I just feel like, you know, having your own space can be so beneficial for your mental health.
What have you, like, I've lived on my own for a few years now, but what have you gained? Or what have you noticed about yourself? When did you move here? First of the year?
Officially, yeah. Like I technically started moving in on December 15th.
Okay, so just almost over a month. You've been on your own now. What have you? It's a short time still. You give yourself another 6 months. It might be different, but at least for the first month, what have you felt living on your own? What have you noticed? What have you seen?
Okay, so
what have you enjoyed?
Right off the bat, the autonomy that I have over my life, like the complete control.
Go on.
You know,
like waking up and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, like, you know, when you live with someone else, you are always accounting for them, always, in like every aspect of everything, right? And it's not a bad thing at all. It's just while I've been living on my own, I've been able to set routines that don't have a possibility of being affected by someone else. So
what's an example?
So if I say I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. and then like fucking go drink some water, then go read a book and like work out a little, fucking maybe watch some sports on the TV, highlights, all that type of stuff. I can do all of that uninterrupted.
Yeah.
And I can get through it. And it's not like I don't like someone else in my space, but it's more so if someone else is there, I by nature am going to start thinking, all right, I'm going to add things into my routine that involve this other person.
Why?
Because I feel like, or I've always felt like if you're in my space and I exclude you, it's going to create problems. You know what I mean?
Is that based on the partners you've been with that you feel like that? Because they have shown that as such?
I don't know if it's been the partners. I just think it's been the nature of like dating. Maybe you can say it's partners.
Because I mean, like if a woman was like, yo, I have my schedule, you have yours, do your thing, babe. Like,
then that's great.
But that's what I'm saying. Would you still feel like I'm excluding you? If
That's
she's like,
you know what? And
you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, and I think what it was is, okay, this is it. It was easier for me to establish routines when I'm by myself than when I'm living with someone else. Because the things that I do now, in terms of when I like the things, my morning ritual, all the shit that I do in the morning, the things I do throughout the day, like just coming and going when I need to do all that. It's easier for me to just do those things when I know I don't have to account for anyone else. I don't have to check in. I don't have to worry about making sure this person gets home at the right time, like if they're okay, like any of these types of things. It's more so like, it's more like it's on you now. Like you don't have any other obligations other than to make sure you pay your fucking rent and you make sure you're good. Right? So what are you going to do to make sure you're good?
It's simplified.
Essentially, essentially things get a lot more simplified, right? And I can for sure say it's the same thing for reverse, like for my ex or anyone who's broken up and gone into their own place. Like it's the same thing for people that live with roommates. Like when you get your own place, things become a lot more simplified. The financial burden goes up, but it's like everything else gets a little bit better.
Right.
You know, so the autonomy is one, just having free reign to just do whatever I want, whenever I want.
So you're selfish.
Sure. Like
we have to be selfish.
Because like that's the thing.
We have to be selfish.
I realize this too. Like quite honestly, one, it was a combination of where I was living before in terms of like the space, but I just always kind of felt like I couldn't always do what I wanted to do. Like if I wanted to just have a bunch of people over, like man's over to go watch basketball, like UFC fights or some shit. It's not that I couldn't do it, but I just had to be obviously considerate because of the space that we lived in. It wasn't big. So It's like I had to be very considerate of that type of stuff. And to be clear, it's not like my ex at that time had ever had issues with that stuff at all, but it still made me feel like I had to account for these things. Right. But now it's just like, yo, man, didn't want to pull up, like watch the fights. We can do that. Like we can drink and do all that stuff late at night. It doesn't matter.
It's because as much as you want to do certain things, when you have a partner, it's still their space too.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
what it
is. Like
space.
It's like you have to account for. Yeah, you could do what you want. You bring your boys over, blah blah blah. But at the same time, you're essentially also bringing your boys into her space.
Exactly.
As well.
Exactly.
And it's like if at any point she wants to go to bed or she wants to use the fucking couch and lay down or like. Now you're hindering her freedoms to do things in her space because of your enjoyment. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So it's not that you can't, it's just that you're aware that you're like, the longer I am doing things for myself, I'm spilling into her space at some point.
Exactly.
Like, it's been about 2 hours now. Like, how long can they kind of stay here before she's over it? Yeah. Even though it has nothing to do with her, it's just like, she's gonna, because you're doing things for yourself right now, she's gonna move different to try and avoid your situations. Yeah, exactly. And how long do I want to make you avoid stuff all night? Like,
Yeah.
Unless you're with someone who the only alternative to kind of curb this is if you find someone or you're with someone that enjoys your things
And vice
as
versa.
equal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like the fight's on and she's like, oh yeah, let me pull up. And she's not there because their boys are there. She's there because she's like, yeah, let's pull up. Like, tell your friends to come. We'll all watch.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely want to do this shit too.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you're no longer invading her space. She's like, oh yeah, like I would be doing this anyway.
Yeah.
But you know that the things you want to do typically aren't the things your girl would be doing anyway.
Exactly. The other thing too, though, is we mentioned it. Like, it's just it also just comes down to literally having your own space, like a space that belongs to just you.
Right.
Because when you talked about it is also her space and spilling into it, that's 100% facts. And that's why if you don't have a big enough space, like, I think people really underestimate how much space two people need
of their own to kind of move around.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you need a lot of space. You know, my old place was way more cramped than the place I live in now. But, you know, I had to...
Is it more cramped if you're by yourself there? Do you think?
Probably not.
That's what I'm saying.
It's probably not, right? And it's like...
It feels more cramped because you're splitting it.
You're splitting it. And it's like, we had turned one of the bedrooms into like the TV, whatever room. And I have my office like outside, right? And it's like, now that I'm in this new place, when I was looking for a place, I was like, I want to replicate that. Like, I want to have a room for this and room for my office and everything separate. But it's like, now my desk is like literally next to where the TV is, but it doesn't bother me because like
it's just you.
It's just me.
So what? The TV could be behind you if you want.
You know what I mean? Like, if I really wanted to, I could have put my desk in my room. Like, if I really wanted to do that.
Right.
But I was like, fuck it, I'll just keep it.
But it forces you to get out.
You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, like, it's really not that big of a deal. But just having your own space, like, I can set things up the way that I want to do it.
And it won't change tomorrow. Unless you do it.
You know what
Unless
I mean?
you do it.
Unless I do it. Like,
like
there's been one time since I've been here where I went to go reach for paper towels and they were done. And I'm like, yo, who fit? I was like, oh, that was me.
It could only be you.
That was me. Like, that was me that finished it. And I had to like remember that.
Accountability.
just having your own space is so fucking good, man. I think people who are in relationships that don't live with their partner, in my head, I'd like to think they enjoy it. And I'm not saying that people who live with their partners don't either, because I know that you can and you do. But it's just, after having done it for 3 years, I think that I would avoid trying to live with my partner as soon as possible. And the problem is, a big reason why I think people like to move in quick is for financial reasons. Like,
ease the load.
Like, I know for a fact, like, me and my ex, before, like, when we were going through the whole breakup process and moving out, we were on good terms. So it's like we were looking for places together, our own places, but you could see the cost of like some 2 bedrooms or like 1 bedrooms or 1+ dens. And I was seeing like some of the sickest lofts I've seen for so cheap. And we both had to look at each other like, bruh, if we weren't breaking up, we'd be moving into like,
you'd easily get that place.
We'd be moving to the craziest place right now.
Right.
And it'd be cheaper for us to do it.
Right.
But it's like,
I don't want to be with you.
Dude, what do you want to do?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You got to have your own space. And I'm like, would I rather have my own space or live in a sicker place? Not saying this is my ex, but like, would you rather live in your own place or live somewhere else that's even crazier with someone that you don't like a roommate?
There's a difference between not liking someone. If you don't like someone, I can't be.
Okay, so how
I
about
can't
this?
be anywhere in
How
this
about
space.
this? I'm not saying you don't
like.
I'll change it. It's not that you don't like them, but in every essence of the word, they're just your roommate. Like, you see them from time to time, you don't have like real interactions with them. Because I don't think I can, as a man right now, I can live somewhere else with another dude, and like we live in under the same roof, and I have no interactions with this person. Like we don't vibe. With each
You will
other.
interact just naturally as human beings having to cross.
Dog, I don't want to name names, but like we both know someone that was like living somewhere, and like every time I went there, he like never talked to his roommate. I think you know who I know I'm talking about, but like prominent creator from Toronto.
I'm not sure.
Also has one of these. Go on.
I don't know. But okay, so let's phrase the question. Would you rather live somewhere by yourself that isn't the greatest, or have your ideal location with someone that you're not connected with?
Yeah.
Only because like I can only answer this as myself as well, but only because I genuinely don't care where I live right now, because I know it'll be temporary anyways until I get a partner. Like that's like I feel like enjoying the benefits of finding my own place. That's exactly where I want.
Yeah.
Means nothing. Cause okay, I get to enjoy it for the few years or 3-4 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But eventually I have to leave it. So I'm like getting attached to something like that, knowing if I find a partner that I really love, I'm gonna have to let it go anyways. To me, it just seems like it's temporary satisfaction for like, okay, my place is so sick, but I'm not keeping it. I'm not buying it because I'm not staying here. Like, unless I'm committing myself to, I'm gonna be single forever. This is gonna be my place. Fuck it. As long as my place is sick, I don't care. Like, that's different. But I actually see myself meeting somebody that at some point we want to place together. So as long as I'm comfortable in my place, I'm fine.
Okay.
I actually like to get an ideal place knowing I'm not going to stay there. For me, I'm like, it could be sick for the 3 years. Oh, my place is sick. But eventually, if I find the partner I want, I got to let go of it. I'll have to recreate that again at some point.
I get you. You just made me think of something else. It's like, it's not rattling me, but it's definitely something I've thought about, where I don't know when it is that my brain is going to flip, or if it will, it's going to flip where it says, where I wake up and it goes, this is where you need a partner. Like, it's like you need a partner, and because you want like the next
step.
You want this next phase of your life.
Right.
I know that I could be with someone right now. Right. I know that like I don't even want to say like I want a partner.
You could be though.
But I could be if the person's right. But what I'm saying is, sometimes like I talk to some of my homegirls, or I talk to girls where they're like, I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to like be by this stage of my life here. Like I'm trying to have kids by then. I'm trying to like live here, have a house, blah, blah, blah. My brain is like not even thinking about that shit yet. And sometimes I'm like, yo, like,
am I gonna be like this forever?
Am I fucked? Like, like something.
You're only 28 now, right?
I turned 29 literally next month.
Yeah, so you're 29 now.
Yeah,
turn 29.
Yeah.
Your brain doesn't have to flip yet. Like I'm only a year older than you, or 2 years older than you. I'm 2 years older than you. I've dated more girls than you, but whatever. But I'm literally saying this from a perspective that like 2 years does make a difference. It does, but not that much of a difference where it's like, I'm in the same boat as you, where it's like, I'm like, I could be single. I have accepted that I could be single for the rest of my life. I could be. Yeah. And single doesn't mean like, I don't talk to girls. Single just means I don't have a legitimate partner. Yeah. But I'm single for the rest of my life. I have accepted I could legitimately do that. Yeah. Do I want to do that? No. Because I do want to experience certain things that only a partner, and having a partner that you can experience those certain things, whether it's getting a place together, having a family, blah, blah. So I do want certain things that require a partner. But it's really a chicken or the egg situation. Yeah. Where it's like, if a partner comes, then I'm down for that. But I'm not so down for that I'm going to force it to happen either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I'm literally like, if it does come, yes, I definitely want it. If it doesn't come, I'm also fine not having it. I don't feel like I'm gonna be like, I don't feel like I'm gonna be sad if it doesn't come. But I do know if it does come, I know I'll love it as well.
Yeah.
Versus some people will genuinely be sad if the house and family blah blah doesn't happen. They'll be like, my life is not, you know, I haven't lived my life to my fullest, blah blah, like I'm a failure, whatever. I will not feel like a failure if I hit my goals and do everything I'm doing individually and I meet amazing people throughout my life, fuck different girls around the world that are beautiful, and I create these conversations and have interactions with people all over the world, and my life, and I'm chilling, and I have my own place to myself, and it's amazing, and my boys and my families, my friends come over, and my friends come over with their families, whatever, and I'm just single, and I'm just the guy that like, yo, let's go chill with Ryan. Otherwise, I'm fucking wherever in the world and just having fun. Like, I'm okay with that lifestyle in my brain as well happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I literally have two directions in my brain that I'm like, we can go either direction, and they're both pretty fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
They have pros and cons to either.
I get that. I get that. I get the pros and cons to both. I guess for me, it's just trying to wrap my head around the idea that my brain may flip to that. Like may flip to, because I can't imagine myself right now saying I need a partner. Like I
don't think you're ever gonna say need though.
I know, but why is it that some people can say that? You know what I'm saying? Like when you meet someone, like when I meet someone that says, oh, like I really want a boyfriend. Want
and need are different though.
Okay,
but you might say you want, but I don't think you will ever say I need.
Okay, but
same to me. I don't think I'll ever say I need a girl.
But okay, but even if we go want, right?
You will say you want a girl at some point.
No, the question is this. No. Hold on. I'll argue that. This will sound really toxic for people that are listening, but it's like, I don't think I will ever say I want a girlfriend. And the reason for that is because I know deep down that I don't have an issue getting a girlfriend. It's deeper than that. It always deeper than that. That's what I'm saying. It's deeper than like just saying, because when we've talked about this before, why, like when people say I want a boyfriend, it's like, why? Like what is your reasoning for that, right? So my thing is like, I'm waiting for the day when my brain switches to where it actually says like, it's more like you need this to go to the next stage of your life.
I get. So okay, so I get. I'll phrase it this way then. I completely understand what you're saying, and I think for you and potentially myself, I think what I mean by you're gonna reach a point where you say you want a girlfriend is not in the same environment as other men. Let's say, because like you just said, like it is not difficult to get a girlfriend. Like at any given time, I can get a girlfriend. I can be like, all right, okay, it'll be you. Like we both have the ability to make a girl our girlfriend and have a girlfriend if we want to, right? Yeah. So what I mean is, I think you'll get to a point, and myself, where you feel like making that happen. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it flips from saying,
I want a girl. Like
it flips from going, I know that I can have one, to I genuinely like want.
I would like to allow this to happen. I would like to let someone in.
And look, the reason I say this is because in all the relationships I've been in, it wasn't okay. Because I have to make it clear, it's not like it was a case of, most of the relationships that I've been in, my last one, I pursued it, right? So I pursued it because I wanted to be with that person, right? I love that person. That's who I wanted to be with. The others, I kind of fell into, like, if I'm being honest with you, like it wasn't a case of me saying I'm looking for a relationship at this point in my life, so I'm allowing myself to be open to it. It was.
But were you even doing that with the last one?
Who, my ex?
Yeah, you're pursuing it, but were you pursuing like I want a girlfriend? No.
I wasn't
You're pursuing it because you're intrigued by the person.
I was like really into this person, and then I guess I allowed myself to be open to wanting to be in a relationship, and I was happy. I was very happy with it. But all the relationships, I guess you can say, I didn't go into any of them saying, "All right, I'm looking for a partner now," because I want one. It was just by nature, a circumstance. Like we hung out a lot, and then I was like, cool, this makes sense. This makes sense now. So you're right. There will be a time where it flips to saying, yeah, like I really want a partner for these reasons. Right. Whereas I guess my dating life up until this point has been
circumstantial.
Yeah, it's been more circumstantial. Right.
Like you don't have to do this.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like I genuinely feel like, you know, I said this on the podcast yesterday that I was on. We say things on this show that like I've never said out loud before and never really thought about. And I've never said that out loud. Like I've never even really thought about this till now. Right. You know, that it's not like I did not like any of my previous relationships. You know, there's shit that's happened that wasn't fun, but it is what it is. You learn from all that shit. But if I'm being really honest with myself, and I think if people are being really honest with themselves, I wonder how many people got into relationships by circumstance versus actively saying, I want a partner. It's different when you get into a circumstantial situation and then you say to this person, hey, if we're going to date, these are the things that I need. These are the things that I require, versus moving through the world on your own saying, these are the things that I need. You get what I'm saying? It's two very different situations. And maybe look, as a dude like who's always been in relationships, is now single, I'm just figuring this stuff out. But yeah, these are things I'm thinking about. It's crazy. I wonder how many other people like actually have felt the same way.
Yeah, I'm even thinking myself, like I've dated more than you, so I know for myself, with exception of a few relationships, like a couple, maybe not even a few, maybe exception of like a couple relationships, they've happened because I've said I don't mind doing this, like, but never because I'm like, yes, I want a girlfriend.
Yeah, and like this is the thing. This is a key distinction.
Never.
This is a key distinction people need to understand hearing this. It's literally no disrespect to partners or people you've dated in the past, because it's not saying
you didn't like them.
You didn't like them.
Of course not.
You say to yourself,
I have these feelings.
I can do this. I can do this relationship because I have these feelings for you, right? Which is why I'm open to being in a relationship with you
at all.
But it's never been a case of, before I even met you or knew you existed, I wasn't walking around
looking for a girlfriend.
I'm looking for a girlfriend now. I'm just gonna live my life and see.
And then you come along, and then you're like,
see what the circumstances lead to. So that's what I'm saying. Like when I meet those people who are like, no, all right, this is what I'm looking for. I get what you're saying now based off of the conversation. You know, they're probably at that stage. Right. Some people are at that stage, and then other people, I think, genuinely say it because they think having a partner will
increase something
for them.
So would you say that? Would you say that you've ever? You don't have to say who it is, but would you say you've ever had a partner that has made you intrinsically acknowledge to yourself, I am better with her?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I would say that. Yeah.
So with that being an actual acknowledgement, then that will be the driving force for the next person.
I don't know if I agree with that. The reason why is because when I felt that way with said person, I think that was specific to that person.
No. Yes. No.
Right?
Sorry. What I mean by yes. What I mean is that acknowledgement has to be recreated for you to allow or want said person, which means like before you're even dating a person, a girl, a woman, you'll have to be seeing them, chilling with them, talking to them, engaging, whatever, for whatever duration of time, for you to be like, anytime I'm around this girl, I feel better. Yeah. When I'm not with you, I'm myself. When I'm with you, something makes me feel like I am better.
Not like I feel better emotionally. It's like I feel like a better.
Anytime I'm fucking around you, I'm more inspired. I'm more I want to do shit. I believe you and I can do shit. Like before I even make you my girlfriend, I feel like that, and I feel like this is the same for me. I feel like that is something I'm gonna have to feel prior to saying, yeah, let's do this.
But can I ask you something though? Like, so I agree. Okay, I agree with you. I agree with that because I felt those feelings before and I thought that. But have you ever realized how? I think everyone does this, men and women. But you ever taken in like how selfish we all are when it comes to dating?
Of course.
Because what you said, I 1000% agree with.
Right.
But it's rare. Oh, my bad. Clicked on Clubhouse. It's rare that I think a lot of us say, when I'm with you, I need to make you better.
Say again?
So what you just said, everything in reverse. So it's like, how often is it that when you're with someone, you're hanging out with them all the time, all this shit, you say to yourself, I am making you better. How often?
I have acknowledged that before though.
No. Not in the sense of like things you do or things you can do. It's how you just said, this girl, every time you're around her, she makes you feel better. Like in every aspect of the word, she makes you feel better. Right. And that's a requirement. Right. Like, I think it should also be a requirement that you have to make the person feel the exact same way.
Yes.
But we're not.
But that doesn't come from you though.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But we're not actively thinking that has to be a thing though.
On their end.
Yes, on their end. But like if I go into a next relationship, I cannot get into a relationship with you if I don't think I'm bringing anything to the table for you.
Yes.
But what I can say that now, but what I'm saying is Younger Zamora was not thinking that.
What you bring to them.
Yes.
No, of course
but that's
not.
what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying a lot of us are selfish. And I think people are still doing that. It's like,
what can you do for me?
It's always like, this person makes me feel this way. Right. If they make me feel this way, chances are I make them feel the same way.
That's not always true.
It's not always true. Right. It's got to be like, do I actually bring anything to the table for you?
Right.
I had a conversation last night, right, with one of my homegirls. And I told her a very embarrassing story about me having gone on a date with one of her friends back in the day that she didn't even know about.
Okay.
And long story short, I go on a date with this girl, right? And I don't know what the fuck it is we ate, right? But on the way home, I'm a conversation person. Driving her home, bro, I was barely talking because
you had to shit yourself.
No, it wasn't shit. If it was that, I could handle it. I felt like I was going to throw up.
Oh, so you didn't want to talk?
I didn't want to talk. Like, I generally felt like I was going to throw up. Now, to paint a picture of what this girl was like, you know, she's very good looking, beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Black girl who was like literally, she's on top of her shit.
Okay.
So in my head at that time, she was like peak for me.
Sure.
And I was like, I can't fuck this up.
Right.
If I go on a date with you, I have to be on my P's and Q's.
Right.
I can't fuck it up.
And then you got sick.
I get sick on like the last 20-yard line, like 20 yards to the end zone, right? I'm driving her home. Last minute, fucking She's talking. I'm like giving like 1-2 word answers.
Just to get stuff out.
Just to get stuff out. Like it's embarrassing. I'm just like, I gotta get this out. We get to her place. We do the exchanges. We say bye, blah, blah, blah. And she gets out the car and starts walking up her like steps to go inside the house, right? As she's doing that, I'm reversing my car out of her driveway. So you reverse out and you just drive,
Sure.
right? I reverse. I drive maybe like a meter and I'm like, I'm about to puke. And I literally open the door and I fucking puke in the middle of the road. Yeah, and I don't, it had to be.
You're not sure if she saw it?
Bro, I think she saw. Like, I never talked to her about it since then. But I think
because you stopped so close.
Dude, it was like an episode of The Office or something.
Like you weren't even that far away.
I wasn't that far away. She was like halfway in through the door.
She definitely didn't look back like,
of course she did.
Like, what the fuck?
And I was so embarrassed.
But you couldn't hold it.
I couldn't hold it. I was so embarrassed. I couldn't make it to the end of the block at least to puke. I was so fucking embarrassed, man. So, long story short, me and this girl, it's not like we
never spoke again.
We never went on another date because I was too.
You never spoke again?
No, we spoken. But here's the thing: we never went on a date because back then, one, I was like way less confident in myself, and I was so embarrassed that I was like, "Yo, if this girl just saw me yakking, like,
I can't even come to you on that.
I can't come to you. I can't come to you like that anymore." I was so embarrassed. So fast forward all these years later, my friend that I was hanging out with, she had like casually mentioned one day that she's in a group chat with this girl. And when she brought her up, my mind like had a That's So Raven moment. I was like, oh fuck, like I remember this story. I like blocked it.
Yeah.
And I was telling her about the story, and she's like, yeah, so like, why haven't you like hit her up
like
recently?
Again.
All this type of stuff. And I said to her, and this goes back to my point about if I'm not bringing anything to the table, I'm not gonna fuck. I'm at a point in my life now where I actually know that I could bring plenty of things to the table. But I'm also at a point where I know that I'm not looking for a relationship right now.
Right.
So I literally just straight up said to her, I was like, this girl is the last type of girl I would ever approach at this current stage in my life.
Right. Like I'm not gonna come to you on some bullshit. Like
exactly. Like
knowing I don't want a relationship.
Knowing that I don't want a relationship, even though I have all these things to offer.
What am I talking to you for?
What am I talking to you for? Why am I wasting her time?
Because she's gonna be like, well, what do you want out of this? And you're gonna be like, nothing.
And then I just look like a jackass, you know? Like,
what?
Then when women are saying all these men just waste time, that's why they waste time. Like, I'm very aware. You have to be so aware of these things now.
I'm not gonna lie. You actually saying that is really funny because I'm like, I've met a couple girls, not met, but I've interacted with a couple girls online recently.
Yeah.
Either through Bumble or fucking Instagram or whatever. And I've been asked, like women are definitely becoming more forward. And I've also been talking to older women now. I think I definitely need older women for myself. Just something I came across where I'm like, I think I need like a 32, 33-year-old or whatever. But anyway, I'm talking to older women now and some other people. And they're actually asking me like straight out, so what are you looking for? And every time they ask me that, I answer the same way. I'm like, honestly, I'm not looking for anything, but I'd like to, meet someone with intellectual conversation and just find someone that I connect with. That's my honest answer. Yeah. And it's kind of like, And I can tell that they're like, I know what that question means. Yeah. I know damn well what the fuck you're asking me. And I'm not answering it the way you want me to answer it. But I know, but that's exactly what you're saying. Like,
based on how the conversation goes,
I know what you're asking me. Yeah. You're basically asking me, I'm looking for something solid, looking to build a relationship with somebody, have kids. Like, I know the answer you want, and I'm not giving them the answer. Yeah. Because that's not what I'm currently actively looking for. So to say to your statement, like, if you met that girl again or talked to that girl again, and she's like, hey, what up? Like, what are you looking for? You know what the fuck she'd mean. Yeah. You know what she'd mean if your answer is saying like,
at this stage in life,
nothing.
if she asks me, what are you looking for? Like, and that's the thing. I can't, I cannot approach her.
You can't say that. Not right now.
Not right now. No, I cannot approach. It's like, let me be clear right now. It's not like I'm like trying to say I want to go after this girl or whatever. It's just I'm using her as an example to say that like you can't go into things without being super aware of who it is that you're talking to.
Absolutely.
Right? It's one thing if you meet someone on one of these fucking dating apps and it's a quick thing. But it's another if you know who this person is, you got to be aware of what you bring to the table.
100%.
You have to be.
100%.
That's crazy though.
We can close by asking ourselves what are the most frustrating things about being single and being in a relationship on both ends for ourselves.
We talked about the good things. Frustrating thing about being single, I would say. Okay, let me answer the other one first. I think the most frustrating thing about being in a relationship is the lack of autonomy. You know, it's rare that you can be in a relationship and someone will say, I'm allowing you to do whatever you want within reason. Right? Like that's, you know, like I'm always having to account for shit. If I just wanted to up and go on a vacation, like without you, see how weird that sounds? Without you, like,
but we should be allowed to do that.
Be allowed to do that. Yeah. And it's like, I know depending on who I date, I could definitely do that. Not saying that I couldn't do that with my ex, right. But it's like at the end of the day, I'm always going to think, damn, like, I wonder how she feels, blah, blah. Okay. So lack of autonomy. Most frustrating thing about being single, honestly, this is going to make me sound like an asshole because people will be like, that's a good problem to have. But I think the most frustrating thing is literally just trying to date or getting to know people and they want to date. Like they want to be in a relationship no matter no matter how clear you are with saying like, this is where I'm at. This is what I want to do. Like I want to take things slow. Like I don't want, like, this is not what I'm looking for. I'm being very clear with the words that I'm saying. And then they turn around and say they want to be in a relationship.
Why is that frustrating to you?
It's frustrating to me.
Yes. And
to other single people like me. Right. Because what it does is make you go, well, now I can't hang out with you. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I know that women experience the same thing too.
Good guys.
But it's like it's almost like when people come on too strong.
You fucked it up. Like,
yeah, it's like when people come on too strong, it's like, okay, like I get it, you like me, but it's like I don't want anything more than this. But then the flip side to it is this, like, it all comes down to just the communication you have with people, right? And if you have the right communication, things can go fine. But the problem is, and the reason why it's so frustrating to people like me is because you're clear about where you stand. You have this conversation and you're like, all we're doing is just enjoying that time. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
It maxes out.
Nothing more, nothing less. And then someone says, let's take it more than that. And you're like, why are you ruining a good thing? You know what I mean?
Why did you do that?
And I have to be so clear. It's not like I'm operating or men have operated or women have operated under the guise of saying X, Y, and Z with an ulterior motive. It's always, this is what I want and don't want. Mm-hmm. And then someone says something that's a complete opposite to what you said in hopes that you're now going to all of a sudden change your mind.
Right.
If I tell you the sky is blue every day for fucking 20 years, and you say to me, hey, the sky's green, I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, you're right, the sky's green. I'm going to be like, no, it's blue. That's what it's been. Right. That's what I've been telling you. Okay. That's the most frustrating thing. You being clear with your intentions, being very clear with what it is that you want, and someone telling you the complete opposite of that. Like, what do you want me to do?
Like, where do we go? Where do we go now? Where do we go from here?
What do you want me to do? Like, it's not like I led you on. I told you exactly what it is that I want and don't want for me, right? This isn't no toxic shit. This isn't like...
It's just communication.
It's just basic communication. because I don't want to affect you in any sort of way. Right. So if I'm very clear with what I'm saying, my intentions, and then you come to tell me something completely different, you're only telling me because you're hoping that I'm going to flip. But what's really going to happen is I'm going to flip the other way. That's what's going to happen. Because for the betterment of this, it's like, we can't keep doing it. Like, what do you want me to do? That's the most frustrating thing. You tell me yours.
Relationship wise, I would say the most frustrating thing about being in a relationship is sounds bad, I mean, but having to talk every day.
Okay.
I actually don't like talking every day, at least to certain people.
Would you do so? I get the talking to your partner every day thing, like not liking it. I could do it if it meant if I didn't have to text you, especially if you live with someone. Like, I don't want to have to.
Yeah, like the texting part, I'll say, yeah.
If I live with you,
I don't mind actual speaking if you're physically here, but I'm the basis on us not being physically together. I don't like, even if I like talking to you, sometimes I do, like I hate the obligation that like it's a new day, gotta say something today. Just gotta, because I'm your boyfriend. Yeah. Because you it sounds so bad, but I sometimes, like, there's days I just don't want to. Not because I don't like you or love you. Let's just not do this today.
Listen, like, dude, we're fucking humans, and the thing is, as extroverted and introverted as we can be, some days, like, you just need your own peace. Like, your battery gets drained, and you're like, I can't devote energy to this right now.
Yeah, but you have to in a relationship. You just have to.
That's the thing. You
just have to.
You have to. Like,
and if I say I don't want to, it's why. It's like,
even if they don't ask why, and they're just like, yeah, I get it.
You know, it's
a part of you still goes, fuck, I feel bad. I feel bad.
I think it's you. It's not you. It's just,
you know what I mean? There's always gonna be a portion of you, if you have a fucking heart,
some conscience.
You're like, damn, like, I feel bad.
Even if you understand, you're like, I don't want this like conversation to even be here. So I would say the frustrating thing is like having to talk every day.
Yeah.
Even if you don't feel like you just still have to because you're your boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yeah.
Being single, I was going to say something you were saying, but I can think of another thing. I would say a frustrating thing about being single is honestly, you almost, I mean, I'll speak for myself. I can't speak for anybody else. For me, when I'm single, I feel like there are times where when you do want to see somebody, or there are times when you want to do something with a woman, but none of the women that you know are anyone you want to do it with.
Yeah, I get that. Absolutely, yeah.
Like, cause I'm single, there's a particular thing I'd like to do, not with my boy. There's a particular thing I would like to do with a woman. Just because the energy of a woman would be different. It'd be fun with a woman. But none of you guys, I don't want to take or do this with anyone I currently know while I'm single.
So this is the thing, right? To what you're saying.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when you're single, part of the problem is knowing that like, I've heard girls refer to it as this, and I've heard men refer to it as the roster.
Okay.
Right? So it's like, when you're single, it's knowing that while you're still single, sometimes you like crave intimacy. Right. It's not like fucking. It's like,
no, just vibing.
Sometimes you just crave like vibing with someone.
Yeah.
but it's not nothing more serious than that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you reach that point and you say to yourself, but I don't want to do that with like any of these girls though.
Right.
Then you're like, true.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, like that's when it kind of sucks being single, right?
Exactly.
Because you're like, I can do it with these girls, but I don't
want.
Send
the wrong message.
It's gonna send the wrong message. But then, but this is why we're fucked, right? Because then,
I know.
Then what happens is,
yes,
I don't want to do it with these girls because it sends the wrong message.
Right.
But if I want to do it with this girl, I still don't want to date her.
Yes.
But I don't mind if that message goes through. You see what I mean? You see how fucking...
I don't mind if the message goes through.
You see how fucking stupid that is? Right. I don't mind if the message gets received. I'm not trying to date though. But if she happens to get the message and she doesn't return the sender, I won't be cheese. I'll just be like, all right, it is what it is.
Oh, man.
And I know girls do this too.
Of course.
I know they do because I have a lot of female friends that I talk to about this shit. I know they do. I know that they do.
I know there's a particular guy on some women's roster or someone they know that they would like to do this with a particular guy, but none of the guys they know.
Yeah.
But whoever that they do it with, they're like, I just want them to just get it and just not. Take it any further.
Yeah. It's like, I just want to be able to do this with this guy. And I don't want him to be thinking, oh, this means we're dating now.
Like, can we just leave it here?
Can we just leave it here?
Please.
But if he happens to like feel the message a little differently, more than that, I won't be too mad. You see how toxic all this shit is? Like,
so fucked. So like, okay, moral of the story then is I think this is what I believe. I believe we should be able to have boyfriends and girlfriends and just pause it.
You're fucked. You're fucked. You're fucked. What do you mean just pause it? You're fucked. No. You need to be in a polygamous relationship. That's what you need. I'm just saying that yes, I said I don't want you to receive this message, but I don't mind if you receive this message, even though I don't.
But why would you not mind if they receive it? Because then
the reason why, listen, here's the reason why. Like, all humans crave intimacy. We crave social companionship, all that type of stuff.
Right.
And, you know, whether or not you're monogamous, polygamous, whatever the fuck it is, I think at a certain point, you prefer to be intimate with some people over others.
Right.
Right. And as a result of that, I think if you prefer to be one way with one person than you do with someone else, that indicates that you at least fuck with them on I'm going to use the word deeper, but a deeper level than everyone else.
Correct.
So you almost justify it by saying, if they happen to feel some type of way about this,
it's fine if it's them.
It's fine if it's them because I like being with them or intimate with them more than I like being intimate with everyone else. Right. And it's still problematic.
Yes.
But it is what it is.
Right.
Like, everyone feels this way. Like, no, not everyone is gonna fucking
like, I wouldn't want someone else to get that message that isn't you.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, maybe you're okay with that person getting the message because
maybe one day you think you'll get there.
Maybe one day, or maybe you know that they're on the same page as you right now, so they get it. Or like, you're just like, fuck it. Like, this could be another circumstantial thing.
Right.
I don't think people are actively thinking these things while they're in them. I know that I wasn't before, but it's like, once again, this is another thing I said out loud for the first time that I've never ever thought before, but it's true. Like, plenty of times I've been like, oh, okay, like come on, like, you've probably had some girls DM you that you know they're either flirting with you hard or they want to hook up, and you're just literally thinking to yourself, I don't want to, like, I'm not into you that way. And it's like, then you have those nights or days where you're just like, mans are in heat, and you're like, I could probably call this person. And maturity is knowing that I'm not going to call this person.
Right.
That's maturity on my point of view, because you're like, I'm not opening that Pandora's box and causing problems for everyone involved.
Knowing it's a direction I don't want.
Yeah, knowing it's a direction I don't want to go, knowing that I don't want to hurt this person. Like, it's a multitude of things, right? So as humans, we're kind of fucked in that sense where it's like, you might not want to be in a relationship, but you want to know that I can at least be intimate with someone that I'm actually cool with. And they know that we're not trying to date, but it's like,
almost like
it's weird, man.
It's almost like if you get someone pregnant,
like, oh, like, you
don't want to have a baby.
Like, if you're single and you get someone pregnant, you're more likely to just be like, all right, like, if it's someone you like,
at least if it's you, fine.
Yeah.
You still don't want to have a baby right now, or you still may not be ready to have a baby, or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it's you that gets pregnant,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
and the reality,
it's one of those.
Yeah, and the reality is, like, for any young dudes that are listening to this, like, fucking, you better be like, if you were risking it, if you were risking it in any way when it comes to sex, you better hope you're doing it with someone that
at least, you know, if it did happen,
you're okay. You're okay with, and the same thing goes for women, right? Like, don't let any dude that you're like not too sure about have sex with you raw. Like, just don't do it. Like, just do not do it, right? Because you guys are gonna then look at yourselves and be like, okay, now we're in this position. What do we do next? And it's not a fun time. So it's like, you don't want to be in that position. So I get it. Like, if you're gonna risk it, at least risk it with someone that you're like, all right, like, if it happens, it happens.
If it happens, like, oh, okay, fine. Like, it's you.
We'll make it work.
Like,
you know what I mean? We'll make it work. You don't want to be like, fuck. You don't want that.
You don't want the fuck.
Crazy.
All right.
Anyway, let's wrap this up.
We debunked that.
Yeah.
Somehow. I don't know if we actually
I don't know if we did.
Oh, man. Yeah. Do you say Happy Black History Month?
I don't know.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
How do you phrase this?
I don't know if you do.
What do you?
I think you said Happy Black History Month. I think
is that what you say? Happy?
I guess so.
Let's have a prosperous Black History Month.
Yes, that's the one.
Shall we? Prosperous Black History Month to everybody out there. Until next week, guys. We will still be in Black History Month next week.
Yes, sir.
Because the whole goddamn month.
Whole month.
For us. For us, not by us.
Yeah. Peace.
Until next week. See y'all.
Hello? We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.